Number 14. This one and then the last one. Number 14. Finally, heaven. Talks about a lot of religion. Not really. I talk about ideas that religions and stuff like that promote or don't promote or whatever. So, you know, it's just stuff to have imagination on. But anyway, finally, heaven. This is something that I wrote that I'm still going to be promoting as a mini-series. And so I've created episodes and stuff like that. So what this is, I believe, is the second episode extracted from the mini-series treatment. And treatment is something you submit as a story to get produced by Netflix or whatever. And I just said, well, this is still a cool idea. I'm going to take this part of this chapter or episode and stick it in here as a short story. Okay, so you'll see at the end that it actually has an episode, this, whatever, which is real in terms of, you know, the treatment. And then it goes through its thing, and then there's further things that are not in this book because I want it to be a mini-series. Anyway, finally, heaven. I always thought that our minds are electromagnetic. Okay, we're influenced by, well, it's electricity, right? And you don't, if you agree or disagree, all kind of scientific theory. You know, I'm the kind of person that used to watch Carl Sagan, Cosmos. I grew up in the time of space travel. So a lot of imagination at the time, you know, Twilight Zones and shows like that. So finally, heaven to me was like, we are made up of electrical impulses and stuff like that, and there's forces of gravity on everything else. If you believe in gravity, everything's having a force of gravity based on the mass, how much solid you are, how big you are, and that's how much gravity you exert. Like the Earth is pretty big, that's why we're all stuck here, because this gravitational force is very powerful because of its mass and its size. Okay, so gravity, electricity, magnetism, Einstein's unified theory, all that stuff. So my thought was, what if something happens instantaneously, caused by some external phenomenon? And in the story, it doesn't say the phenomenon, you know what I mean, are beings. It could just be a natural thing that happens. And what if that instantly changes everybody's electromagnetic waves in their head, and all of a sudden people don't care about money, all of a sudden people don't care about riches, all of a sudden people don't care about possessions, all of a sudden people don't really want to compete to win and destroy the loser. You know, I know people like that. They get more enjoyment out of seeing the loser defeated than the actual joy of winning. That's a little sick. So if you're that way, that's my feeling. But anyway, that's not what it's about. It's about all of a sudden, everybody in the world, just picture this, okay? Changes. Like that. And all of a sudden, everybody's just like, they don't care about money. They don't care about anything. All of a sudden, people do things for other people because they want to. Nothing costs anything. Everything's free. Doctors heal because they want to. Because it's good to do that. You know, people help other people in buildings or whatever because they want to. So, this happens, but there's a twist. Of course. It's a cool idea, right? All of a sudden, suddenly heaven. Finally heaven. Finally, it's heaven. And that's what it is. It's heaven on earth all of a sudden. It's an interesting idea. But here's the first twist. The first twist is that it only affects, I think it's 96% of the population. I forget the number. Okay? Oh, then what happened to the 4%? Well, the 4% go the other way. You know, sometimes when there's diseases, some people are immune. Well, they go the other way. So what happens is 96% of the people, even their frontal lobes in their brains expand a little bit. And the 4% decreases. And they get lost. They're just lost. They might be people who, they still believe the old world still exists. So they might be wearing a suit, thinking they're going to work. Okay? And the 96% of the people are like, they pacify them. They know they can't do anything about it. You know, they give them money. They put them on buses. They send them to casinos. I mean, the money doesn't mean anything, but to these people, the 4%, it does still mean something. So there's part of society that didn't change. But anyway, the rest of the world is happy-go-lucky. You can walk down the street on a sunny day and everybody's sitting in cafes. Nobody's paying anything. Everybody's getting what they want. And it's just a beautiful world. Now, of course, Gabriel has a twist to this. Evil laugh. Well, there's one guy, Adam Young. Yeah, he uses the word Adam. Adam Young, who was in a coma when this occurred. And he wakes up from the coma after it has occurred, so everything's happy. But this guy, remember, 96% of the people are in heaven, on earth. 4% go the other way. They can't understand what the hell's going on. And they become almost dumb. But Adam Young wakes up from a coma, and he's looking over, he's coming out, and he's in the hospital or wherever he was, and I think it was a car accident, and he was there for a while. And he comes out of the coma, and he finds his suit there and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so he's looking around, and it's like there's doctors and nurses, but everything seems a little off. So then he's just like, okay, I gotta get out of here. I don't know what's going on, right? So then he goes outside, and he starts experiencing finally heaven. But it didn't happen to him. He's still the exact same way he was. He's not the 4%. He's exactly how he was. And here's the cool twist. He was a very successful, but very evil lawyer. I'm not saying all lawyers are evil. Everybody can be evil, right? But this is the character, okay? He would do anything to win. The despicable things that he's done. So this guy is a thinker. And he starts realizing, he goes to a bank and he sees there's money laying around. What the hell? Right? Anyway, so he's going through society and he's trying to figure out what is going on. He meets he remembers he has a brother, so he meets his brother, and his brother, oh my God, you're out of coma, this is great, I gotta tell you everything that's happened, and because the brother thinks that he's just like them. Happy-go-lucky, don't care. He's not. But Adam Young starts figuring out, they don't know I'm not. They think I'm like them. So then he starts analyzing. And this goes on, there's more stuff to it. And he starts analyzing, and he starts thinking, well, you people, you're so happy and everything, you can't even fight for yourself. You won't even fight. There's no wars. They don't want to fight. So are they incapable of fighting? Are they incapable of guile? Can I do something to take this world to my advantage? And they won't know. And by the way, and I'm Adam Young thinking, these other people, he learns what happened to them, he's like, well, maybe I can get them to assist me. So maybe within Eden, the Garden of Eden, the new world, there might be a problem. Finally heaven.